Once again, people, this is my Telegram channel. Any doubts or queries that you have, you may send it over here. In addition to that, you can send the answers also in the PDF format of PYQs. So we are continuing with our discussion on public policy. All right. So we are continuing with our discussion on public policy. And yesterday, we had just started discussing about the incremental model. Incremental model, from the name itself, it is simply what? Making small changes. छोटे छोटे changes. That is, it is the most simplest way of remembering it. छोटे छोटे changes उसके अंदर लाओ. That is the idea here. Small changes you bring in. And the other name for it is obviously the branch model. Where the base remains the same, largely the base remains the same, and you're just making small changes into it. This is what we have seen so far. We are going to see its features today. Clear? Good afternoon, Satish. Good afternoon, Priya. Taking it further forward, the following features characterize the decision making in terms of muddling through. It proceeds through a succession of incremental changes offered to the existing policies because of the uncertainty about the consequence of new or different policies. It involves mutual adjustment and negotiation. The test of a good decision is agreement rather than goal achievement. Agreement tends to be easier in policy making when the items in dispute increase or decrease in budgets or modifications to existing programs. Means what? The whole idea here is muddling through. Muddling through simply means somehow getting through. Kuch bhi karke, somehow we are solving it. We are coming out of it. That is what it means. It is not where something where you have a clear-cut clarity. यानी कि आपने you separated this from that. No. Somehow you are squeezing in. That is the meaning of muddling through. Now, why we have used this word muddling through, somehow getting through, means here what is happening is we are trying to get everything in agreement. जहां पर सब लोग सहमत है, आप भी okay है, आप भी okay है, that is the point here. Everybody is okay with it. That is the ultimate thing. Okay, just okay. Not that everybody is absolutely happy. No, they're okay, okay, ye chalega bhi. That's that sort of a thing. Getting the point here. Best example, if you look at this time's budget, the whole idea of bringing down the tax slabs, whereby which now up to 12,75,000 you don't have to pay any tax. Plus, people whoever were paying higher tax earlier now have to pay very less tax now. Is it the best thing right now for the economy? Tax कम करने से what is the फायदा? Whenever tax burden reduces, whenever tax burden reduces, what happens next? Disposable income increases. Disposable income का मतलब सिर्फ इतना है, खर्च करने के लिए आपके पास पैसा है. You have money available with you to spend. That is what you call disposable income. After whatever tax burden, etc., you pay, what money is left with you. That is what you call disposable income. Getting the point here? Now, disposable income increases. And what is the belief? What will this disposable income will do? It will increase private consumption. And if private consumption increases, automatically what will happen? It is believed that production of goods and services will increase, and definitely GST collection can increase. Income tax also will increase of corporates and other entities. This is the belief here. Is it the best strategy? सबसे बेहतरीन स्ट्रैटेजी है ये? Not exactly. क्योंकि अब ये टैक्स बर्डन कम करने से वजह से नुकसान कितना है? From the viewpoint of the government, loss for the government is around 1 lakh crore. Not at all a small amount. Just because government decided to bring down the tax burden of the people here in our country, this is the tax burden today. Loss for the government, 1 lakh crore ki nuksan. So you cannot say that it is a wonderful thing, government is having less money. No. We also know that this is like a temporary thing. टैक्स कम करने से जरूरी नहीं है कि immediately there will be very nice economic growth. Immediately now economy will be all great and nice. No, not necessary. To an extent this will help. But what will actually help in the long run? Long run, what is needed? We need to focus on infrastructure. No doubt. We need to focus on sunrise industries. Sunrise industries का मतलब है the next development, futuristic development के लिए क्या क्या चाहिए? Semiconductors. We need to focus on manufacturing. Correct? These three, along with this, only will lead to what? You need true economic growth, sustained economic growth for a very long run. This is what you really require. बट ये तो अभी के अगले साल के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं? ये तो लॉन्ग रन है, 5 साल 10 साल, ऑल ऑफ दैट नोबडी इज डिनाइंग इट. इस साल ग्रोथ बढ़ाने के लिए, टू इंक्रीज द ग्रोथ दिस ईयर, व्हाट वी हैव टू डू? बेस्ट थिंग इज दिस. पीपल शुड हैव मनी विद देम इफ दे नीड टू बाय एनीथिंग. फोन खरीदना है, गाड़ी खरीदना है, you need to buy a home, you need to buy a new branded cloth, shoes, whatever you talk about, or even if you want to go to the theaters and spend money also, you need to have money in your hands. So government has come out with this strategy. Needless to say, it will trigger growth to some extent. Some extent, definitely yes. So, coming back to our discussion, is this the best policy right now? No. But definitely we can agree on one thing. Reducing the tax burden, if you see, this whole idea of reducing the tax burden, everybody agrees with it. Nobody will say this was a bad idea. Nobody is going to say that. Everybody, the point here is we were all surprised that to this level, they will reduce the tax. Nobody would have thought. Up to 12 lakh 75, you don't have to pay a single rupee tax. When you say, people were like shell shocked. क्या हो रहा है? हो क्या गया? ये क्या हो रहा है देश में? What is happening with this country? It is an agreement. Everybody agrees with it. Even the opposition agrees with it. Getting the picture here? It's an agreement, not an achievement. Yes, we achieved a target. No. So this is like, सब लोग सहमत है इससे, we are doing it. Everybody agrees with it, we are doing it. Is it the best thing? No. But right now, to wiggle through, somehow get through, this is a nice idea. Getting the point, people? That is the meaning here. Clear? Taking it further forward, incrementalism is significant in reducing political tension and maintaining stability. Incremental approach involves trial and error method. सही है, because you can literally test what will work and what will not. You're not actually going to do something drastic here under incremental method. You're only try something, not working, you pulled it back. It is superior to a futile attempt at superhuman comprehensiveness. Futile means what? Futile simply means useless. Useless attempt at superhuman comprehensiveness. मतलब क्या है? There is no way that anybody will be knowing what is the full picture of any situation. What will be the consequence? नतीजा क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा? What are the advantages? Disadvantages क्या होगा? Nobody will be knowing it, right? So what is the best thing to do? Make small changes. Try it. It is not working, then try something else. That is the idea here. You're not doing something very drastic under incrementalism. That means, in other words, never we can highlight Article 370's abrogation, demonetization, surgical strike. These are not examples for incrementalism. समझ में आ रहे हो? ये सब झटका है. ये सब झटका है. एक्सिस्टिंग सिस्टम में थोड़ा इधर थोड़ा उधर, थोड़ा ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे, little ups and downs, little bit of changes here and there, that is incrementalism. Getting the point here? Human beings rarely act to maximize all their values. On the contrary, they act to satisfy particular demands. Maximization of values से ज्यादा अब भी क्या कर सकते हैं? That is what any human being generally does. That is the first and foremost thing. If you ask any ordinary individual also before the budget, if you would have asked them, what is your expectation from this budget? Reduce the tax. Reduce the tax. That is what everybody would have said. Nobody is thinking about long-term things. Same way, even when we talk about act to satisfy particular demands, that is the reason why people are always attracted to what? Freebies. अभी के लिए मुझे आप अभी मुझे क्या दोगे? What will you give me now? Immediate demands. Nobody is thinking about, oh, freebie is bad for the economy. Freebie will cost to the government. Freebie will do this. Freebie will do that. When I was having a discussion with another very educated individual who is working in a multinational company, I was discussing and I was telling freebie is a bad idea, etc. That individual straight away said, anyway, politicians are taking away all the money. Politicians are only corrupt. So some things, if they are giving it free for the public, what is wrong in that? Look at the thought. Something we are also getting for free means what is wrong in it? Let us also enjoy something for free. What is wrong in that? So nobody is thinking about, okay, country's economy will go bad, the revenue expenditure will increase, this will increase the fiscal deficit, economy will have a problem, rupee value will depreciate. Nobody cares. Satisfy particular demand. अभी मेरा एक problem है, उसे मुझे मिटाना है. बस. I don't care about the whole picture and all. Getting the idea here? They seldom search for the one best way, but instead search to find a way that will work. Simple. अभी कौन सा चीज काम करेगा? अभी मेरे लिए सबसे फायदा कौन लाएगा? Simple. What will work for me now? Who is going to benefit me more? I will go with that. In his subsequent writings, Lindblom develops his theory further. Let us look into that. Good afternoon, Lipika. Good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon, Suganya. Good afternoon, Abarna. In this, he notes that there are three main forms to incremental analysis. Simple incremental analysis. Only those alternative policies which are marginally different to the existing policy are analyzed. Those alternative policies which are marginally different to the existing policy are analyzed. Like for example, GST slab rates. Marginally different. जैसे कि हमारा पॉपकॉर्न का एग्जाम्पल ही ले लो. Salt and namkeen popcorns have a lesser GST burden compared to the caramel flavored popcorn. Already those who have gone to the movies and all, they should be knowing it. Already the popcorns are being sold there at around 300 to 400 rupees. यानी कि एक मटन बिरयानी के पैसे. Now with the new GST slab rate, caramel popcorn will become a thing of luxury. Anyway, but the point you get it, GST slab rates में थोड़ा थोड़ा चेंजेस होता है. जो पहले 18% के अंदर था, उसे आप 12% के अंदर ला रहे हो, ऐसे करके. Strategic analysis, trial and error learning, systems analysis, operations research, management by objectives, program evaluation and review technique. Strategic analysis भी है incremental approach में, where you try something, you see it is working out or not. Program evaluation and review technique, यानी कि पूरा program का एक review करेगा, evaluate करोगे, you will review it, find the error and make changes to it. यहां पर भी you must understand the idea is what, let us say for example now MGNREGS. इस प्रोग्राम को हम इवैल्यूएट कर रहे हैं. इवैल्यूएट करते वक्त we found out some problems with it. And what are the problems? Ghost beneficiaries, corruption, poor quality of work, या फिर कोई काम ही नहीं होगा लेकिन पैसा तो खर्च हो रहा है. Number 4, people don't really work for 8 hours. ये सब problems है. Now I need to make change to this. After doing a strategic analysis, I understood I need to make a change to this. I am not changing the scheme. I am changing ये problems के लिए क्या हल है. And what is the solution for it? Solution is number 1, when it comes to ghost beneficiaries, Aadhaar verification. Number 2, to avoid corruption, auditing by CAG. Number 3, poor quality of work or no work, GPS tagging. मतलब नरेगा फंड्स यूज कर you constructed some asset. Okay, you constructed some asset. You made a well, you made a building, whatever. Take a photo. So in your camera, that provision is there. Whenever you take a photo, if you give that option, the date, the time, when it was clicked, where it was clicked, everything will be given there. Send that photo. Only then fund will be released. People don't really work for 8 hours. Why? They'll come there, they will sign, and then they will go to someplace else. Evening, they'll come back, do some jugaad for 1 hour. They'll take the money and go. For that also, what are we putting? We are tracking mobile phones now. Or in other words, you can see this is largely we are using technology as a solution for these problems. Getting the picture here. This is strategic analysis. This is strategic analysis, management by objective, where ये वैसे के वैसे रहेगा, प्रोग्राम के साथ हम कोई जुगाड़ नहीं करने वाला। प्रोग्राम में जो भी परेशानियां हैं, मुश्किलें हैं, फॉर दैट व्हाट सॉल्यूशन वी कैन गेट, फॉर द प्रॉब्लम्स व्हाट कैन बी द सॉल्यूशन। क्लियर पीपल? Disjointed incrementalism, it is an analytical strategy which involves simplifying and focusing on problems by 6 methods. What are they? The limitation of analysis for a few familiar alternatives. Intertwining values and policy goals with empirical analysis of problems. Focusing on ills to be remedied rather than on goals to be sought. Trial and error learning. Analyzing a limited number of options and their consequences. Fragmenting of analytical work to many partisan participations in policy making. 6 methods are there when it comes to disjointed incrementalism. Disjointed means it's broken. One by one, it is broken. Directly, if you see, there is no connect. First one, limitation of analysis for a few familiar alternatives. Means what? Rather than sitting and trying to find out what is the problem, we are going for a familiar alternative. That means everywhere we know one of the major issue with almost all the government schemes is what? Or almost any area, if you see, one of the main problem is fake beneficiaries. Fake beneficiary is a major problem everywhere. What is the best way to tackle it? Aadhaar. Rather than sitting and find out who are these beneficiaries, from where they are coming, what it is, what is the problem here, etc., etc., straight away go for Aadhaar. End of the problem. Correct? Intertwining values and policy goals with empirical analysis of problems. Matlab, what are you trying to, which value are you focusing on? What are your policy goals? Clubbing it with what? Numerical data. What do you mean by that? Numerical data of what? Of whatever problems you have. Whatever problems you are having, you put a number to it. That is, how many people have been left out from Narega because of bringing in technology? How many people have been left out from Narega because they don't have either a proper job card, or they don't have a proper Aadhaar card, whatever, or they don't have a mobile phone? Because of this, how many people are not getting the benefits of Narega? There will be a number for it. Correct? Now that number you are taking, let us say 10%. 10% or 10 to 15% of people are being left out. Now what is the other thing? Values and policy goal. Now what is the policy goal of Narega? Definitely to provide employment. Now what we are finding here, somewhere around 85 to 90% of people are getting employment. What sort of value are we trying to achieve here? Rural empowerment. We are able to do that because once we have brought in technology, we have been able to keep out those people who are fake. And it has actually helped in giving employment to the genuinely deserved people. From 85 to 90%, it is achievable, means that's good news. Getting the point here? Focusing on ills to be remedied rather than on goals to be sought. Problems के ऊपर focus करो. What problems needs to be changed or rectified so that what you need not change the goals. Case in point being, Madras High Court basically directed the Home Secretary. Home Secretary means one who is heading the Home Ministry. Home Minister है, उसके नीचे Home Secretary. तो Home Secretary से कहा, tell your cops to file the FIR on time. Conviction rate नहीं बढ़ रहा है, people are not getting arrested, the investigation is poor, police sena is understaffed, judiciary takes a delay, this. Leave it. You do the minimum thing first. FIR वक्त पर दर्ज करो. Every layman cannot go to the court, hire an advocate, and that advocate will fight a case, then where the court will finally direct the police station to file an FIR. This is how it happens in most of the parts of our country. Generally, when the cops see that it is a big shot on the other side, some big shot, some politically connected, or some senior government servant, IAS, IPS officer. It has happened with my friend also, because he's from Bihar basically. So he's having some issue with a senior civil servant in his native area. He went, obviously the error is from the side of the senior civil servant. He went to file a case. The cops straight away told, we cannot do it. We are not going to do it because it's an IAS officer on the other side. So then he has, then what should I do? You do one thing, you go to the court. You go to the court and get your FIR registered. From the court, let the order come, then we will put it up. Getting the point here. How many people can actually go to the court and put up an advocate, then get the court to file an FIR, direct the police station to file an FIR? Getting the picture here? It is not easy. आम आदमी ये तो नहीं कर सकता. हाईकोर्ट में एक वकील का फीस होगा एक सिटिंग के लिए 5 से 10 लाख तक होगा एक सिटिंग. Who can afford it? Getting the point here? Trial and error learning, again the same thing. So trial and error learning, you must understand, it is part and parcel of incremental method. Part and parcel. कुछ try करेंगे, after that you find an error, you stop it. Case in point being, conjugal visits. Conjugal visit का मतलब है the female partner can visit her husband or her boyfriend or whoever it is who is there in jail, and they'll be given some private space where they can indulge in physical intimacy. Why? Obviously, mentally also the criminals will feel, or the people who are inside jail, they will feel a little relaxed, plus their mood, all that will get elevated. That is the idea. But in Punjab now, because of that, they were finding it very difficult because इतने सारे लोग आ रहे थे जेल के अंदर conjugal visits के लिए. Where do you have that much of space to give them intimacy and privacy? Getting the point here? Seeing that this is not working there properly, Tihar jail decided not to implement it there. वहां पर काम नहीं किया तो फिर यहां पर कैसे? Tihar jail is again one of the most overcrowded prisons, if maybe even in Asia also, one of the top 5 most crowded prisons में Tihar jail आ जाएगा, if not at number 1. वहां पर कहां करोगे ये सब? They left it. Analyzing a limited number of options and their consequences. यानी कि छोटे छोटे चीजें हम करेंगे, छोटे छोटे एनालिसिस करेंगे, लंबे लंबे वड्डे वड्डे एनालिसिस नहीं. Small analysis of whatever options are there we can see. Again, this year's budget is the best example. To bring in an immediate growth, what is the best thing they did with? Cut tax. Immediate growth के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? Reduce the tax. Simple. Let people spend the money. Because I told you 143 crore people. Number one, if everybody starts spending in the economy, trust me, you don't have to worry about your export, import, nothing. Whatever is there within the country, you can generate it. Internal demand driven growth. Simple logic. And always understand, one man's expenditure is another man's income. One man's expenditure is another man's income. Simple. Salman Khan is a bodyguard, Shera. And I think his annual package is what? 20 crore or something? I guess so. That is how much he's getting paid. 20 crore, 70, 10 crore, 15 crore, I'm not sure. But whatever. Salman Khan is the one who is paying it. So Salman Khan's expenditure it is. That is Shera's income. He has that much of money to pay. That much money he is having. If he's not having it, will he pay? Obviously no. So the idea here is very simple. When people have money, only then they will spend it. And if they are spending it, it will trigger economic growth. Some extent at least it will happen. That is the idea. Fragmenting of analytical work to many partisan participations in policy making. मतलब क्या है? Breaking it down. Whatever analytical work you want to do, just break it down into multiple entities. टुकड़े 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 कर दो. Then look at each one separately. Okay, to trigger economic growth, what needs to be done? Fine. Tax purpose के लिए, let us reduce the tax. Did that. Then infrastructure, let us improve the infrastructure slightly. Futuristic growth also I need. So what will we do? Fine. We will start spending more money on research and development. All of these were the decisions taken in this time's budget. Getting the point here? Before I head on with the next topic, any doubts so far? Lindblom began as a pluralist, but 2 decades later, he attacks the idea of pluralism, offers a radical critique of the business, and believes that there is a need for drastic radical change in a whole range of policy areas, and that the whole was in dire need of more than simply incremental change. Two thinkers who criticize their own idea or try to improve upon their own idea, if you see, one was definitely F.W. Riggs. From agrarian industry model, उन्होंने खुद कहा यार ये model सही नहीं है. Then he came with fused prismatic Sala model. After that he said no, it is not just Sala model also. It is all about the extent to which differentiation has happened and the extent to which integration has happened. Similarly, Lindblom also the same thing. He started out as a pluralist. Pluralism. Idea of pluralism means what? Multiplicity. ये करके देखेंगे, वो करके देखेंगे, all of that. But later he told, whole world is in dire need of more than simple incremental change. यानी कि ये छोटे छोटे trial and error काम नहीं करेगा. Like I told you, especially with the current government, if they hadn't come out with the ideas of Niti Aayog, demonetization, surgical strike, Article 370, abrogation, all of these are what? Clear examples as to why incrementalism will not work everywhere. Such statements contradict his earlier idea of the impossibility of drastic change. तो उन्होंने पहले क्या कहा कि ड्रास्टिक चेंज नामुमकिन है, लेकिन बाद में उन्होंने खुद कहा नहीं चाहिए. kabhi kavar drastic changes are required. These are classic examples of drastic change. GST, I will say, at least we knew it was, the discussion was going on since many years. From the time of UPA government itself, the discussion on GST was going on. But none of these we had even the slightest awareness that ये सब होने वाला है. होने के बावजूद भी many people from the opposition as well as from the media never believed क्या ये हो गया है क्या. Getting the point here. Lindblom also turned out to be a critic of incrementalism as a political ideology. He almost discarded many of his earlier ideas about the policy making process. खुद वो discard कर दिया उन्होंने, क्योंकि खुद मालूम पड़ा कि incrementalism जो है, you can only use it in very limited contexts. रोज के कारोबार, everyday activities, rather programmed decisions, वहां पर छोटे मोटे ट्रायल एंड एरर करना है, छोटे मोटे चेंजेस लाना है. Incrementalism is perfect. But totally new situation, you need totally new solution. You literally need to go into the root of the problem, find it, eliminate it, which means you need drastic change at times. Both White drawer, Y as in Yeheskel drawer, Amitai Etzioni are not convinced that incremental model is either realistic or a satisfactory normative account of decision making. To draw, this model is profoundly conservative and is suitable in those situations where policy is deemed to be working or is satisfactory, where problems are quite stable over time and where there are resources available. मतलब क्या है? What did Yeheskel draw say? He basically told this is a very conservative method. Conservative का मतलब क्या है? जो हो रहा है होने दो. You're not changing anything. That existing thing remains as it is. And you're only making small changes here and there where things are working or is satisfactory. इसका classic example है the erstwhile planning commission. प्लानिंग कमीशन हमेशा क्या करते थे? न्यू प्लान लाते थे. प्लान 1, प्लान 2, थर्ड 5-year plan, fourth 5-year plan, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Plans just kept on coming. Fundamental problem was with whom? Planning commission. Planning commission खुद problem था. Getting the point here? Because, and why it worked for so many years? Because working was satisfactory. Problems also quite stable problems, like poor development, so many poor people in the country, all of that. Resources were available, absolutely yes, because planning commission was not just a planning body, it also used to allocate fund. So, chalta reh gaya. The central concern of Lindblom's work has been to explore the constraints that shape decision making in the modern policy process. At best, he is a critique of Simon's rationality model. तो साइमन ने हमेशा क्या कहा है? Simon has always said that given a chance, man will always take rational decisions. और जब नहीं होता है तो फिर वो बाउंडेड रैशनैलिटी के बेसिस पर फैसला लेता है. ये बेस्ट डिसीजन नहीं होगा, लेकिन इट विल बी satisfying. That is what Simon told. Lindblom said nothing doing. ये क्या है ये? Best bounded rationality and all that. जिसको bounded rationality कहा, उसी चीज को Lindblom ने क्या कहा? Lindblom termed it as incrementalism. बाउंडेड रैशनैलिटी को लिंडब्लॉम ने कहा इंक्रीमेंटलिज्म और कहा देखो it is not possible to take rational decisions. It is not at all possible because nobody has that much of time, nobody has that much of resources, nobody has that much of processing capability. So incrementalism. लेकिन हैरान होने वाला बात यह है कि लिंडब्लॉम खुद rejected it later. Clear, people? Any doubts here? All right. Now we will move to the another model here that is involved in policy making. It is the elite model. What does the elite model say? Basically, I'll tell you it in a nutshell. Elite model means it comprises of bureaucracy who makes policies for the upper class of society or the influential या तो अपर क्लास के लिए small changes in the caste system are also limitations of incrementalism. Small changes as in upper class influential पावर, जिनके पास पावर है, जिनके पास इन्फ्लुएंस है, जिनके पास ज्यादा पैसा है, policies are only made for them, not for the larger public. That is what the elite model says. Let us look into it in detail. The theory holds that in the real world, there are those at the top with power and others at the bottom. At the top, you have people with power and others at the bottom. At the bottom, the mass without power. In this framework, policy flows downward from the elite to the mass. Public policy is viewed as the preferences and values of the governing elite. जो गवर्न करते हैं उनके प्रेफरेंसेस, उनके वैल्यूज, उनके प्रेफरेंसेस एंड उनके वैल्यूज. दैट्स इट. टॉप क्लास के only for them policy is made and it is pushed down to the masses. Public officials and administrators merely implement the policies decided on by the elites. Their theory has its origins in the work of Mosca and Pareto. They argued that contrary to Marx, elitism is inevitable and that classless society is a myth. मतलब जहां पर भी देखो, you will never find what? A classless society. You will always find an upper class and lower class. Mind you, this is not caste. This is class. Class means the one who is having money. Yeah, power. Yeah, for a combination of both. Then you have the lower class, which is basically what? The hardworking people. I mean, not, I wouldn't say hardworking because hardworking everybody does. Yet the point is these are the masses, the people who don't have power, don't have money. Clear? So, ultimately, policies are made only for whom? For the top class, and it is pushed down to the masses telling that देखो देखो ये आपके लिए है. We have made a policy for you, but it is actually benefiting only whom? The top people. Getting the point here? Say for example, corporate tax in our country is very less, is low. What was the argument given for this? Why we have kept it low? If you keep corporate tax low, what will it lead to? It will lead to more investments, and that will lead to more employment, thus more growth. ये कहकर They sold off the idea to us, selling that, see, this is very, very beneficial for us. Corporate tax कम करना बहुत अच्छा चीज है. Getting the point here. आगे. Later, Mosca modified his view and argued that democracy could be viewed as a form of politics in which elites compete for the people's vote in order to secure legitimacy for the elite rule. मतलब जिनके पास ऑलरेडी ताकत है, they compete with each other, they vote or whatever, they fight with each other so that they can make policies for the elite. Already the powerful fighting with each other, whoever wins the election, they make policies again for themselves. That is the idea here. Robert Michels, in a study of political parties, argued that there was an iron law of oligarchy which operated in organizations. A powerful group. Oligarchy means literally that. You have monarchy, means king's rule. Oligarchy means a powerful group is there. That group only will hold power. Nobody else. Ultimately, whatever happens, there is nothing is going to change. Getting the point here. That is, let us take Pakistan now. Pakistani government, if you take it, till now, not a single elected government in Pakistan has completed 5 years. There is an opposition party there. There is a ruling government there. Then there is a military rule. These are the three things that keeps changing in Pakistan. But whoever changes, is it changing the country's economy? Is it changing the policies towards India? Nothing. Whoever comes into power there, everybody indulges in corruption. Pakistani army chief, when he, in a rare meeting with Indian army chief, asked, okay, what happens after your retirement? Where will you retire? How it is? So he said, I have bought one flat. I'll be settling there. One flat I have bought. It's EMI loan, etc. It will get over now. I'm going to settle there. 3 BHK flat it is. So he was like, 3 BHK flat? You're staying in a flat? So the army chief told, yeah, I'm staying in a flat. Then what car are you driving? So he said, some Innova or something. So he said, how much it will be? He said, some 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs. Pak army chief got shocked. Pak army chief told, don't come and tell this in my country. So Indian army chief asked, why, what is wrong? So he basically told, a Pakistani army chief, when he retires, he will have a bungalow with garden, foreign car, either an Audi, BMW or Benz. Getting the point here. So that's a clear example of, it's just for the elites. Whoever is in power, they use that position to amass wealth, be corrupt, make policies only for their friends and Sathiyo. That's it. Getting the point here. Joseph Schumpeter observed that elitism would be legitimated in a democracy by a political market composed of competing parties and rival elites. Best thing is, again, Pakistan, they call that they are a democracy. But again, political parties there, they compete with each other. Only to finally do what? किसका काम करने के लिए? अपने powerful साथियों का काम करने के लिए. That's it. They are not actually worried about the people. They are not actually concerned about Pakistan's future. They are not even concerned about Pakistan's economy. Nothing. Getting the point here. Taking it further forward. Laswell took the view that the study of politics is the study of influence and the influential. The influential are those who get the most of what there is to get. Those who get the most are elite. The rest are mass. Perfect example again is Pakistan here. Whoever is in power, they get all the benefit. Whoever is in power or whoever is close to the people who is in power, they get all the benefit. The rest of it goes to whom? The masses. Clear? Propositions of elite model. Any doubts so far? Small changes in the caste system. Same thing, the same diagram what I explained yesterday. Root and branch, caste system. Society is divided into the elites who govern and have the power to decide on the public policy. The masses who are governed and do not have power to decide on public policy. Elites share common values and have money, education, and power, whereas the masses are apathetic and ill-informed. That is, here also I will give you, again, see, now some people may ask me, sir, what about in India, Ambani, Adani, and all that you will keep asking. See, any country in this world today, in today's world, it is not a bad thing to actually support a business house. USA did that with Microsoft. USA did that with Amazon. USA is currently doing that with Tesla. So everywhere they do that, because having a business house, when you don't support your own country's business houses, Tata, Birla, Ambani, Adani, why will a foreigner come and invest here? Simple logic. You are not in a position to support your own business houses means, then why will any foreign country's business will come and invest here in India? Simple thought. Why Pakistan here? Now, elites share common values in money, education, and where is 1 minute? Yeah, ill-informed. Pakistan's example again, I'll tell you. Now, very recently, I saw that video. That is Pakistan's champion trophy. So there is a stadium. Stadium is there inside Pakistan. Floodlights are there. The guy who is comparing, the anchor who is comparing, he comes and tells, now the light show is going to begin. He announces. So we are expecting what light show it will be. It's at a stadium. What is the light show? Floodlights are there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. They are switching it on and off and increasing and decreasing its brightness. That's it. That is the light show. Switching it on and off, increasing, decreasing brightness, which is the basic feature of these lights. You can increase and decrease its brightness to a certain extent. They called that light show. Brilliant part over there is, some of my friends again who are in Dubai, etc. Some Pakistanis came and said, see, is this available in your country? That is what they were asking. Is this available in your country? See how Pakistan is developed. So what my friends did is they showed one small, some foreign singer had come to the country. They just showed that open auditorium, what sort of lights we are having. Small auditorium, not even a cricket stadium, small auditorium, what sort of light show is there? The next thing that the Pakistani asks is, after seeing that video, where is this? Is this Dubai? Why are you showing me a video from Dubai? My friend laughed and told, this is not a video from Dubai. This is just a small auditorium in India. In other words, the people there still think they are miles ahead of India. They are ill-informed. They are apathetic. Means they have no emotion left. They don't care. Oh, somebody is ruling. Who is the opposition? Oh, opposition is no more there. Oh, they killed Benazir Bhutto. Oh, now military is ruling. Okay, let it be. And they feel that their country has moved ahead. Getting the point here. That is why one Pakistani blogger, when he came to India and he visited some chart shop or something, and when they finally saw how the payment is being made, he felt that he has walked into a futuristic country or a science fiction movie. He was like, wow, what is this QR code and all? How is this even possible? He was surprised because they just paid and the customer walked away. Even the shopkeeper was not bothered to check. And suddenly a voice comes. You have paid so much money. The voice is coming. He's shocked to see all of this. They are ill-informed there. Getting the point here. Elite members are drawn disproportionately from higher socio-economic strata of the society. Very, very true again. Disproportionately, they are drawn from higher higher levels of the society. Public policy does not reflect the demands of masses, but rather the preferences and values of governing elite. Whatever will support the governing elite, only that is entertained there. In other words, whenever a civilian government tries to build proper relationship with India, Pakistanis, ISI or military or the ones who benefit from this tussle between India and Pakistan, they will never entertain it. They will never ever entertain it. They will always try to submerge it. Let me give you an alternate example of another country. Take USA. There is an association there called American Rifles Association. How big this association is, let me tell you first. That is, these people basically, this consists of all the gun manufacturers there. Every year they will release some new weapons, handguns, that gun, this gun, etc. And how do they promote it is, they sometimes literally use its, what is it? I don't know what part to call it. The movie versions of it. Movie version means only the smoke will come, smoke and light spark will come. Bullet won't be there. Okay. That movie version, they will sell it off. They'll give it to the producers of Hollywood movies, etc. Portray their gun in the movies. American citizens looking at that gun, wow, what a nice weapon. They will go and buy it. That is their main bread and butter. But unfortunately, every year, another thing also happens, which is what? School shootings, random killings. That is, some madman armed with a weapon, automatic rifle, will start going and killing people. In spite of so much of death in the sense that today an average American has a higher chance of getting killed by another American citizen rather than by a terrorist. Killed how? Using an automatic rifle. Many people told, ban automatic rifle. Why do you need for home protection also? Why do you need an automatic rifle? One nice handgun is enough. American Rifles Association will never allow that to happen. Because the day when you say automatic rifles will be no more allowed to be sold to individuals, their profit margin will decline. So instead, what American Rifles Association is doing, whenever any such discussion or topic starts, they will immediately say what? You are violating Second Amendment of the US Constitution. And what is the Second Amendment of US Constitution? It basically allows the US citizen to own a firearm. So they'll basically start putting that whole argument. Oh, you're going against the Constitution. See, you're against the Constitution. You're not a US citizen then. They put it in the other way. Getting the idea here? This is how they have been doing. Do the masses want it is the question. Clear? So they pass off a policy as what? This is what the masses want. This is what is good for the masses. But whom is it benefiting really? The very rich. Getting the point here? The basis of elites who share consensus on the basic values of the social system are the sanctity of private property, limited government, and individual liberty. Basis of elite means again, यहां पर प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स को private players are valued more. Clear? बेस यानी कि एलिटिज्म का बेस कहां से आते हैं? प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी जिंदाबाद, गवर्नमेंट पीछे रहो, इंडिविजुअल आजादी जिंदाबाद अगेन, इंडिविजुअल जो चाहे वो कर सकते हैं, Elite shape mass opinion on policy issues more than masses shape elite opinion. So elites will shape an opinion and sell it off as if it is the public's idea. So like I told you, American Rifles Association or any US president comes in, be it Democratic president or Republican president, that is, be it Joe Biden's or the Trumps who will come in the future, none of them will touch the gun law there. No matter how much our Americans are going to get killed. See, once upon a time, America was under terror attack, 9/11. Post that, if you look at the number of Americans who have died from shootings alone, school shooting, random mad fellow taking a gun and killing people, it is huge. The number is very, very huge. They always try to downplay it. The media also, they pay them and tell them, see, this is not this thing. Some mad fellow did some nonsense. So why are we punishing everybody? Why are you taking away the right of the people to own a weapon? This is how they sell it. Elite theory recognizes the possibility of elite mass conflict. So they know that sometimes there will be a conflict with whom? The masses. You may have a conflict in ideas. So what do you do there? You sell the idea as if it is the idea of the masses. You sell things. That is like I told you, masses now many a times whenever a school shooting has happened in USA, the mother, the parents, they have all taken out protest march. But how do they twist and change it? They say that, see, we are also against mad people owning guns. Background check was not done properly. And how did that person get the gun? He got it illegally. That means the police are not doing the job. The mayors are not doing the job. They put the blame immediately on the administration. Remove the guns from that area. Remove the guns completely so you don't have violence itself. But no. Instead, what do they say? This is the time to actually train our teachers in the use of firearms. We should train our security guards in the use of firearms. That means I won't be surprised, maybe 10 years down the line, teachers, security guards, everybody starts going to the school with a rifle and laptop with them. Every day morning, you're entering into the class with one rifle and laptop. Kids are also sitting there with a gun. Who is going to kill whom? Nobody will get to know. Getting the point here. This is how things are done. Any doubts so far? All right. Decision making according to the elite theory is a process which works to the advantage of elites in whom power is concentrated. Changes in public policy occur as a result of redefinitions by elites of their own values and choices. The stability of the system therefore depends on elites sharing in a consensus about fundamental values underlying the system, and only policy alternatives that fall within the shared consensus would be given serious consideration. The values of elites may be oriented towards the welfare of the public. The welfare of the masses may be an important element in elite decision making, but the responsibility for the welfare rests on the shoulders of elites rather than masses. Elite theory purports that masses are apathetic and ill-informed about public policy, and that elites manipulate mass opinion and sentiments on policy flows downward to the disadvantage of the mass. Policy questions are seldom decided by the masses through popular elections or through the presentation of policy options by political parties. Elections and political parties play symbolic roles. Masses at best have an indirect influence over the policy-making process of elites. Again, what is this whole model about? One thing we can conclude from our entire discussion is this model is not actually great. Correct? And the problem with this entire model is that in some matters, like how I told you, when it comes to the gun laws in USA, we know it is basically the elite model that is working there, which is definitely what not at all good for the US society. Again, when it comes to Pakistan's administration also, we know that again it is the elite model that is at play there, which is also 99%. That is the reason for all the problems in Pakistan as well as for the problems between India and Pakistan. Question is, can we use this model anywhere? This model should not be used anywhere. That is the idea. You shouldn't be using it anywhere. You should never be even resorting to it. Point here is, elite model ka kuch hisse, kuch parts, bits and pieces you may see here and there. Okay, in this particular thing, this is favoring it. Like I told you in the beginning, how corporate tax is reduced, how it is benefiting the corporates. So very recently, again, they found out that corporate tax reduced karne ke bawajood bhi, investments did not increase. Growth or employment did not increase. So it is not actually working in our favor. So वापस corporate tax वही के वही रख दो ना. Why are you reducing it? And why are you troubling the poor middle class for it? Getting the point here. Gun laws in USA. आज तक इतना ज्यादा हादसा होने के बाद, so much of incidents happening also. Why is it that gun laws are still prevalent in USA? Elite theory again. It's their main bread and butter. Pak administration. Why is it that such high levels of corruption is there? Again, elite theory. So when my father had gone to Pakistan for recruitment purpose, etc., at that point of time, when he discussed with a few drivers, like, what is the issue here? What is the problem? Why is it that this country is in this shape? So what that driver told him basically was that I will tell this to you as we are going, because the route where we are going, I can explain this to you in easily by showing it to you. My father said, okay. So as they were traveling, he said, this ilaka, this belongs to this guy. My father asked, what do you mean by it belongs to this guy? He said, here unki hi chalte hain yahan. Not Kanun, not the law, not the court, nothing. This particular person will decide matters over here. So he said, this is almost like a gangster. The driver said, yes, gundagardi hai. Another area they went, he said, no, this area belongs to the other fellow. My father was like, what nonsense is this? So where are the law? Where are the police? He said, nothing doing. Police also in that particular area will only listen to this particular person. Not to the court, not to the home minister, not to the defense minister, not to the prime minister also. So each area there is under a different warlord. Somebody like a gangster. That means it's the whole of Pakistan, you can literally divide it into multiple gundas or gangsters. Officially, everything is there. Constitution is there, rule is there, police is there, court is there, everything is there. Naam ke vaste. Largely, it is these gundas or gangsters who will decide how should things go. In other words, the elitism in Pakistan is one of the main reason for poor law and order. And wherever you have poor law and order and poor judiciary system, what investment can you make and what can you expect from them? Zero. Getting the point here. In other words, this is a model which should never be used. No democratic country should ever entertain the elite model of policy making. Clear, people? Now, this here, the public choice model of policy making is it is as same as public choice theory and public choice approach. It's the same thing. Okay, not going to again repeat it because we have already taken it. Just 3 slides are there. Then the criticism and conclusion. Major contributors. It is again the same list. Some more criticism. Okay, I'm just leaving it to you. Contingency theory, we will take it up tomorrow. All right, contingency theory of policy making also, we'll take it up tomorrow. Public choice is the same thing what we have already discussed under NPM and all. It is the same thing only. Just go through it. Clear? Contingency theory is there. Then after that, we have Dicey's rule of law and a few small topics are there. So most probably this week itself, we'll be starting with paper 2. Clear? Paper 1's other related topics which are there, especially the economics, little bit of static portions, etc. will be taking up as we are discussing paper 2. क्योंकि उसकी application वहां पर ज्यादा सही लगेगा. So it will become more clear for you. Clear? So maybe in another 2 days, paper 2 we will be starting. Clear, people? So go through this. Go through the whole public choice approach, public choice theory and all. Just go through it because it is the same thing, slightly different only for the reason that this is from the angle of policy making. But otherwise, theory-wise, it's the same thing. Clear, people? So contingency theory, we will start off tomorrow. All right, contingency theory, the reasons for its popularity, that we will do it of tomorrow. Okay? So that is the idea. So let's call it a day, people.